Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski, I'm a Chief Analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is Daily Analytical Report with Alpari. So, let's start with the calendar. Last day before longer break, because we have Thanksgiving holidays. Well, we do have Thanksgiving tomorrow, but obviously many traders will take a day off on Friday as well, so the volatility should be decreased. We should get lower volatility tomorrow and on Friday, and we shouldn't get any significant movements on the market in the last 2 days of this week. So most probably today we have like last trading day where something can happen. But the calendar is still empty. What do we have is in hour and a half. We will have initial jobless claims as always, and durable good orders. Actually, initial jobless claims do not influence the market anymore, because we don't have a problem with unemployment. It was a strong data like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, but now not so much. Durable good orders should have bigger influence. EIA crude oil stock exchange, influential for oil, FOMC minutes. Everything is more or less clear, so we shouldn't get any surprises here, and it's not the most important event anymore. At least today. What do we have? Well, we had Janet Yellen speaking in New York. Janet Yellen mentioned that you need to have open mind and not to be trapped by a forecast when you're trying to I'm sorry, when you're trying to estimate the future policy of central bank. She said that it's not completely out of question that inflation expectations about inflation can be lower a little bit, but it shouldn't be much lower. But we shouldn't be surprised with that if that will happen in the future. Also, we do have this political crisis in Eurozone. Most probably, Angela Merkel is ready for elections, which will supposed to happen. If they will happen, it will be earliest on April 2018. But apparently, Angela Merkel will start bigger talks about the large coalition. We had a pack of data from Australia recently, mostly about the housing market recently, but we had also a speech from Reserve Bank of Australia Low. He said there's no strong case for a near-term adjustment in policy. More likely that next move in rates will be higher, probably not next year. Increasingly likely that inflation will be subdued for some time yet. That's what he said. Well, the reaction on Australian dollar is negative, and Australian dollar is going lower. We do have a nice trading occasion on Australian dollar to Canadian dollar, but I will tell you that in a second. That being said, well, as you know, as I said, we don't have the calendar is empty. We don't have any leading news on the market. So in this environment, we can easily move to the technical analysis of the charts, and we will start with the euro dollar. And euro dollar I'm sorry. Let's make like 20 seconds break. Okay, we are back. I'm sorry we had some technical problems, but now everything should be alright. So on euro dollar, what we had, first of all, we denied the sell signal, which was created after the breakout of 117.30, this orange support here. So breakout here triggers the sell signal with a potential target of here on the neckline of the recent big head and shoulder formation, but this sell signal was denied, and this movement from today was the result of that denial. Well, trading on euro dollar is now choppy, unfortunately. So we had a false breakout here. We are about to have a false breakout here as well. I think that at the end of the day, right, as long as we stay above 117.30, there is still positive sentiment on euro dollar. This buy signal is no longer here, so actually there is no buy signal, but there is a positive sentiment. So that means that traders should look for occasions to go long, but now we don't have good levels, good prices to do that. Once the price will test 117.30 another time, and will test this midterm uptrend line and will perform like a bullish reversal, that will be a good occasion to buy euro dollar. But for now, this situation is not good for that. It's not good for going long. It's not good for going short as well. Occasion to go short, occasion to sell will be created once the price will break this orange support. I told you that there is a nice selling opportunity on Australian dollar to Canadian dollar, and here it is. Look at that. That's a long-term situation, right? We do have a situation here. We do have a chart from 2015, from September 2015, and the price broke long-term uptrend line, this blue one. The price broke this uptrend line in the middle of November. Apart from the long-term uptrend line, the price also broke horizontal support here, which is, well, that's a nice support, like respected since beginning of September. And after the breakout, broken support becomes a resistance, became a resistance once, became a resistance twice, last week and this week. And that second bounce from this resistance is a strong sell signal. It happened yesterday. Now we just have a typical reaction after this movement. So strong downswing. In the very short term, maybe short-term upswing is possible, but in the long term, breakout of the long-term uptrend line and breakout of the horizontal resistance, in the long term, that opens us a way to new yearly lows, and currently that's the most probable scenario. Next one is oil. On oil, well, we are optimistic since actually the beginning of November, when we broke this long-term horizontal resistance and we made yearly highs, and that was pretty clear. And we are telling about that broken resistance will become a support, and that's what happened. The price tested that level as a support after 2 days. The buyers performed, and that was a good invitation to go long. And now the price is in a positive territory. We are about to make new yearly highs. As long as the price stays above the gray area, above the 55.10, there is a positive sentiment and there is a buy signal. Next one is Australian dollar to Japanese yen. Australian dollar to Japanese yen, I was waiting for the price to get to this yellow resistance and downtrend line here. It was pretty clear that there's a negative sentiment, but I didn't want to go short like yesterday here. I was waiting for the price to get here to the horizontal resistance and maybe for the price to make a correction equality pattern, but as you can see they made a small wedge like this one, maybe a little bit bigger because this one lasted for 3 days and this one for 2. And then they made small wedge, they broke the lower line of the wedge, and now there's a negative, there is a sell signal on Australian dollar to Japanese yen, but obviously it would be better to sell here than here near midterm lows, but hey, you cannot do anything with that. Australian dollar to American dollar to Danish krone. That's a good selling opportunity, but we still have to wait for the situation to develop. So maybe from the very beginning, on a daily chart, inverse head and shoulder formation, which was denied, and instead of that we got a wedge. Also, as you can see here on the weekly chart, we are bouncing from the long-term horizontal resistance, right? So this strong resistance, a bounce from here triggers sell signal, denial of the head and shoulder formation triggers sell signal, breakout of the lower line of the wedge triggers sell signal. So there is this negative sentiment here and a midterm downtrend. And during the midterm downtrend, we do have a correction. That's not a trend reversal, that's a correction because that's a flag. And we all know flag is a trend continuation pattern. So we should wait for the breakout of the lower line of the flag. Once we will get the breakout of the lower line of the flag, the sell signal will be created, and that will be a nice opportunity to for the price to get here to 6.15. Next one, gold. I don't like, well, I love gold, but those recent movements are just, it's just a waste of time. Look at that. These are weeks. Look at that. Upswing, downswing. We finish more or less in the same place. Upswing, downswing. We finish more or less in the same place. Here, downswing, upswing, upswing, which ended here. Again, after 1 week, we are more or less in the same place. So, trading now on gold is good for short-term traders which are trading inside of the range. I'm not this kind of a trader. I'm a mid-term trader, swing trader, which follows trends. Currently, we don't have, well, we do have a trend that's a sideways trend. So absolutely, this environment is not interesting for me. New Zealand dollar to Singaporean dollar is doing what expected. If you like going with the trend, we do have a pennant here. We had a look, downtrend, wedge, downtrend, small flag, downtrend flag, downtrend, wedge, downtrend, pennant. These are very technical movements. So currently New Zealand dollar to Singaporean dollar is in a pennant, which should result with this beautiful upswing aiming this horizontal support, which should give us 80 pips. Euro to Japanese yen is next one. Well, they try to defend this support. They are doing their best. But the selling pressure is rising, and once we will be able to close below the green area for the first time since middle of September, when the price will close below the green area, that will be a sell signal. So far we do not have a sell signal, The price did not close below. They tried many times here, most recently during recent 2 days, but they cannot do that. And we have to still wait for the sell signal. American dollar to Polish zloty. That's an interesting situation. Look at that. American dollar to Polish zloty and where is that? American dollar to Danish crown. Look, downswing, inverse head and shoulder formation, horizontal resistance. Instead of that, we have a wedge. And look at that. Downswing, inverse head and shoulder formation. Instead of the breakout of the horizontal resistance, we do have a wedge and a downswing. Here, wedge. Here, flag. This is amazing. Those two situations are pretty much the same. So American dollar to Danish crown, American dollar to Polish zloty as well. In both cases, sell signal. American dollar to Australian dollar to American dollar, so I am waiting for the price to get there. Long-term uptrend line, correction equality pattern, 50% Fibonacci. That's in the long term. In the shorter term, I thought that maybe the price will aim this resistance, but this negative sentiment towards Australian dollar is can be seen here as well. So maybe we won't get there. We'll see. American dollar to Canadian dollar. There's supposed to be a buy signal, but instead of that, sellers are approaching. Sellers are attacking the long-term uptrend line. If they will succeed, so for example, close of H4 candle below the trend line, that will be a sell signal. That will be a legitimate sell signal on American dollar to Canadian dollar. British pound to American dollar, unfortunately, well, look at that. That shows you how's the trading going in the Thanksgiving week, 1 day before Thanksgiving. It's just not going. It's a sideways trend. So on majors, especially with dollar, we are struggling to find a decent trading occasions. And here, American dollar to Singaporean dollar, here we have a sideways trend. Breakout of the lower line of the sideways trend, a breakout of the lower line of the range, which actually triggers sell signal, as we pointed out yesterday. So breakout here would trigger a buy signal, breakout here would trigger a sell signal. That's it. What we can get is a short-term upswing, aiming this horizontal resistance, and then continuation of this movement. So this kind of price action here and here would be most welcomed. I would really like to see that, especially that, you know, failed inverse head and shoulder formation. Also the same situation like on American dollar to Danish crown or Polish zloty. Failed inverse head and shoulder formation, we should see a deeper downswing. New Zealand dollar to American dollar. Here, what we are having here is a flag on a horizontal support. Well, this promotes further downswing. Maybe buyers will try to push a little bit to test the downtrend line again, but the situation looks negative still. American dollar to Chinese yuan. We tested the lower line of the long-term symmetric triangle pattern. No breakout, so we can see that this line is legitimate. It caused an upswing. So we have to wait for the signal because still we are in the range. Most probably it won't happen this week, as we said, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. So no major decisions will be taken ahead of that. Traders will more like close their positions before this weekend, before this long weekend, then open new. So that is why if a pair now with American dollar is in a sideways trend, most probably it will continue today and tomorrow and on Friday. And the result of that, we should get a proper breakout we should get on Monday earliest. There's a nice sell signal on American dollar to Swedish krone. They were about to break the horizontal resistance created by 38.2 and a midterm downtrend line and this extended upper line of the recent flag formation, but they failed. On a weekly chart, the price is creating a shooting star. On a daily chart, that's a negative formation, almost a bearish engulfing, almost outside bar. That's just a negative situation, and there is a legitimate sell signal on American dollar to Swedish krone. Euro to Norwegian krone. What we are having here is a defense of the long-term horizontal support. Is the support legitimate? Well, yes, it is. It was a strong resistance since the October 2015. As you can see, it played an important role in 2016, in 17 as well. So after the breakout, broken resistance becomes a support. That's what we are seeing. And now that defense looks strong, looks sustainable. So opening a long position here with a stop loss below this bottom seems like a good idea for Euro to Norwegian krone. Canadian dollar to Swiss franc. What we do have here is a flag in an uptrend, so it's a trend continuation pattern, and apart from the flag we do have a horizontal support. So as long as we stay above the orange area, there is a positive sentiment on this instrument. Let me also show you the situation on Bitcoin. Because it's obviously very popular. So Bitcoin is having new highs. The sentiment is positive. Even bad news is good news for Bitcoin, like on American stocks. Everything looks perfect. About instruments which look perfect, well, we have to mention S&P 500, obviously. New highs yesterday, as you can see here. Obviously, broken resistance becomes a support. Inverse head and shoulder formation, so we do have this beautiful neckline here as well. In the smaller time frame, what we are seeing here is a short-term pennant. We broke the upper line of the pennant, which suggests us that we should see new all-time highs today. New higher high today, just ahead of the Thanksgivings. If we are on S&P 500, let me show you also DAX. Here we are a little bit in a worse condition, but well, from this chart you cannot see that there is a political crisis in Germany. Actually, kind of the worst crisis since the Second World War. You just cannot see that on this chart, can you? The price defended horizontal support with a double bottom formation or even inverse head and shoulder formation, and we are on a good way to make a new all-time highs. Breakout of this resistance will be more than welcomed by the buyers because it will open us a way to the new all-time highs. We'll have some resistances ahead, but that shouldn't be a problem for the stock traders, as for some time they are kind of reckless and they just buy everything. Let me just see the situation on euro dollar, which is declining. So again, buy signal created by this breakout of the upper line of the flag is endangered. We'll see how the situation will develop. Thank you very much for watching Daily Analytical Report. We got some nice trading signals today. If you want more trading occasions, you have to visit our Twitter account and our website alpari.news. And now we'll have a short break, half an hour, and after that our web educational webinar. Thanks very much and goodbye.